Okay, this one. Perfect. Overcoming ADHD and postpartum depression.
Is it depression or is it ADHD?
What a journey it's been. I feel like mine has been 100 miles an hour. This is without a doubt one of the most highly requested subjects. When something holds me back, it's an emergency. So the things I've learned, the tools that I have gained over the years, yeah, how I'm actually overcoming it still, I am looking forward to sharing with you guys. But I've got a Willy Wonka premiere to get ready for right now, guys, so bear with me. No idea what I'm wearing though. Oh, what a wild couple of days. Can't quite comprehend. Am I okay? Morning. What are we about to do?
Affirmations.
Affirmations. Do you want to choose a card? What does it say?
It's Dodie's birthday and Betty's birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Should we read the card?
No,
I'd like to have a little look. And then what does it say on the other side?
that sounds like an Aussie.
Love that. Wow, they're so sparkly. We start every day with our affirmations, don't we? And it's helped us so much.
Amazing CD.
That's great. You tell me what you're writing down then.
My name is Betty.
Repeat after me. I'm doing my best.
B-I Betty. B-I
And that is enough. Goldie, can you say I'm doing my best?
B.
And that is enough.
That is enough.
Now you've got toothpaste all over yourself. This is, I'm gonna have to get you changed before nursery now.
Have you seen your camera?
It's here. So it's currently 9:15 and they're supposed to be at nursery for 8 AM. This is definitely where having ADHD.
ADHD creates a nearsightedness to time, so that the person with the disorder cannot organize to the delayed future, but only to the imminent
It's
future.
basically a bit of like a mind scrabble, but I've overcome a lot. I used to be frozen in paralysis and probably midway through a breakdown right now. I'm doing my best and that is enough. I'm doing my best and that is enough.
Is that my favourite song?
You do cheer me up, girls, I have to say.
I just don't live
Oh.
So it really doesn't matter what you know. You can't use it as effectively as other people can. ADHD is a performance disorder. You can't perform the things you know how to do. It is not a knowledge disorder.
I stand on the table.
Birdie, can you put your socks on, please? Here you go. I've basically had about 2 hours sleep, if that. Which definitely is not advisable to anyone, but especially anyone that's particularly sensitive with their mental health or ADHD. Thank you.
How should I me? My tattoo is stuck.
Thank you. Sit in the buggy, please. We always stop by at shop windows to have a little look at the special animals. Now for a peaceful walk. How gorgeous is it? Oh, I love this part. My little secret garden tunnel. Oh, it's a frosty one, guys. We've reached the end of the stream, which is where I love to come. And in fact, I've dipped in there a few times and it's been freezing, but you know me and cold water therapy. It's been a huge factor of me overcoming a lot of the struggles with ADHD, addiction, depression, general health and well-being, like focus.
When we drink an alcoholic drink, our dopamine levels will 2x, of peaks at 15 minutes, and then it begins to fall below its baseline level. If you take something like cocaine, that will 2.5x the dopamine, peaks at 9 minutes, so it peaks really, really quickly, and then it'll begin to crash. The cold water immersion is the only behavior they found that can also 2.5x the dopamine, the same as what cocaine can do. Other than it peaking at 9 minutes and then crashing itself out, it rises for 2.5 hours.
I mean, I kind of dread to think how cold it is right now. Maybe I'll put my feet in. It's very slippy. I'm going to attempt to dip my feet in. Oh, wow. It's like pure ice. That's so cold. Crazy though, because if I immersed my whole body in this water, after 3 minutes, you literally could stay in here for hours. It's like this wave of peace. The dopamine like goes up by 250% increase. It actually feels so nice. I always have to finish off my walk with going on this. I mean, there's definitely people watching, but YOLO. Okay guys, I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach to what I planned with this video because, I mean, it's no coincidence. I needed a sign of where to take this video, and I've had a friend text me asking for advice in a really low spot, and specifically around her mental health and ADHD. What do I advise based on my journey? And I just thought, right, I'm actually going to sit here and perhaps do a bit of makeup, actually try some new products, because it's a shared passion of ours, right? Beauty. But we are going to talk about exactly how I would advise a best friend and perhaps even my children, like what videos would I send them? I'm gonna give you 10 solid steps in my toolkit that helped me overcome. I wouldn't say overcome, I'd say is helping me to overcome my ADHD diagnosis, because it's been 18 months now and I'm actually 6 weeks off of my medication. And the reason I wanted to come off my medication is because it suppresses appetite. It's not fun eating, and I actually want to enjoy food. And also I want to try all of these methods for people that can't go on medication, and I want to be able to explore everything naturally. It's clearly important for me to state that I'm not a doctor, and I am just basically sharing my journey and what's helped me. These steps and this knowledge has not only helped me to understand how to navigate life with a neurodivergent brain, but to actually overcome habits and completely eliminate certain patterns that were once associated with my behaviours. So you may or may not know that ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, sometimes referred to as ADD, although that apparently comes without the hyperactivity, although there are a lot of disputes on them not being different to each other and them being entirely different to each other. But as well as that, often ADHD comes with, well, it can set off actually OCD, anxiety, autism, dyslexia. It can often come hand in hand, depression, of course. We will get into that, and I've actually decided, for the sake of this video, I'm going to separate the two topics because they are very different, and my experiences with each of them actually has been very different, and ADHD has been at the forefront. This video actually was quite eye-opening to me.
Feeling sad, blue, dark thoughts, negativity, suicidal ideation, trouble sleeping, waking up in the middle of the night. ADHD, short attention span, distractibility, disorganization, procrastination, poor impulse control. But ADHD often gets diagnosed as depression because these women are chronically stressed, leading to sadness. And when they're misdiagnosed with depression, they're often put on a serotonin medicine, an SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, that drops dopamine in their brain, so now they don't care, but they're more ADHD, and it really becomes a negative, vicious cycle.
I have honestly seen so many misdiagnosed, even close to me, with depression when it was not, in fact, at the forefront, and they benefited from eventually having a different medication that addressed their ADHD. So neurodivergent brains versus neurotypicals. Neurodivergent, no, why can't I say it? All right. People with ADHD or autism, they process information differently, completely differently. It's like a differently built brain. The way that we react to stimuli and manage tasks is completely different. Strengths of neurodivergent individuals can include creativity, attention to detail, resilience, specialised skills, empathy, contributing to diversity, and then neurotypical brains that function with what people call the normal range have other strengths such as being able to adapt and social skills that are different, multitasking. That's definitely something I struggle with. I can't multitask. There's a million things going on in my brain and a million things I want to do at once, but I can't do them all at once. This video is quite interesting.
ADD or ADHD is not a disorder of all attention. It's a disorder of everyday attention, of homework, paperwork, schoolwork, chores, the things that make life work. For people who have terrible ADHD, for things that are new, novel, highly interesting, stimulating, or frightening, people with ADD or ADHD can pay attention just fine.
These were some of my symptoms, which are quite common. Chronic procrastination. Like, I actually thought I was brain damaged. Kind of was, actually. We'll get onto that, but I had so much grey matter over the part of the brain that needed to be creative and act on impulse. And yeah, emotional dysregulation can result in anger and just outbursts. Outbursts in general, line of a song or a word in a song just blurted out like any given time without warning. Even you didn't know it was gonna happen. Not being able to hold things in mind. I don't know where the information that someone gives me straight away goes, but it's not retained. Hyperfixation, like new hobbies, new business ideas, new interests. I like change. It's basically the equivalent to having every single tab open on your laptop, but in your head. There are so many more symptoms and it's not like a one size fits all, but ultimately it's like dopamine irregulation is a big factor. My past struggles with ADHD before I really knew something was wrong last year, like even back in school I struggled with like the way that school was so rigid. I was always in detention, which never really helped. It only hindered my education further, and it was always for silly things like forgetting a PE kit, or kind of went against the grain a bit. I was actually predicted fails but attained almost straight A's. And this is definitely because my brain finally fired up under cortisol, the stress hormone, and it allowed me to access the information that I clearly was storing somewhere and also retain the information gained by the revision that I'd done the night before, which makes sense even like for my packing, because I always say if I had to pack for a holiday 3 weeks in advance, I would remember nothing that I actually need. But give me 3 hours before the flight, I'll remember things I didn't even know that I needed because the stress honestly suddenly makes me able to access parts of my brain. It's not the most pleasant experience, but it seems to be the way that my brain suddenly fires up. I wasn't a bad kid. I did get detention a lot, and what I will say is, without going into all of my history, I went to drama school, and I just think that anything social and creative is just the best thing anyone with a neurodivergent, why can't I say it? Neurodivergent. And I keep saying neurodivergent. Listen, I just think schools need to actually fundamentally change when it comes to how they don't nurture creativity and social connection. Like the fact that, well, when I was at school, socialising or social connection was like a treat at break time, like your social break. Really? My family did actually nurture my creativity outside of school, and I did too. Like, I absolutely adored all of my clubs and just horse riding, gymnastics, drama, singing, everything. Loved it. So I actually went private, and after about a month and hours of assessing, I was diagnosed with ADHD, not actually depression at this point, and prescribed stimulant medication and L-Vans to be specific. This talks a little bit about stimulant meds.
It goes right there, and it plugs up the vacuum cleaner. Like a sock at the end of a vacuum hose, L-Theanine stops the transporter from working. What does that do? Leaves more dopamine outside your nerve cell.
I also did therapy, which is crucial, I'd say. And honestly, it's been a long road of trial and error, but I'm proud to say that I am off of my medication. Like I said, it was due to, you know, my personal feelings, appetite, and the fact that I do want to help other people. And I know that there's not medication available for everyone. I just feel like having a hyperfixation on wondering if you have ADHD is quite a big sign that you probably do have ADHD. I do feel like now I can tap into the amazing parts of my neurodivergent brain. I nearly said it! Ah! Why is it that talking about having ADHD almost brings it out more? It's like when someone says, yeah, I've got family from Scotland. I was brought up there. In fact, going back to Scotland this winter and I'm going to be with the family, and they end up having the accent like midway through the conversation. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so here we go. These are my 10 steps for anyone embarking on their ADHD diagnosis journey, anything to do with it. Number 1, address the problem. Like, you may have done quizzes and all sorts and ask your friends, but take yourself to a professional, get a diagnosis, and then obviously accept help from there. Therapy, medication. And that is number 2, actually. Therapy and medication. Therapy goes hand in hand with the meds. It's almost like if you just had the medication, it'd be like being given a car without actually being taught how to navigate it. Where are you going? How do you drive it? So that is solidly number 2. Number 3 is physical health. Like what you're putting in your mouth, exercise. This is actually quite a few in one. Exercise is crucial, crucial, crucial.
Dopamine. Second strategy, exercise. When you exercise, especially high intensity training.
I also really benefited from vegan protein shakes, Huels. You guys know I love the Huels. They really helped me because my appetite was suppressed and I really enjoyed the Huels. So it helped me keep up with calorie intake, with vitamins, and yeah. Cold water therapy, we've touched on. Just helps so much. And supplements. Supplements actually helped me come off of my meds. And I'll insert a little clip here of what supplements are recommended.
Supplements can boost dopamine, especially tyrosine, which is the amino acid building block for dopamine. L-Theanine can be helpful. Curcumins have been found to be helpful, and EPA, omega-3 fatty acids.
I actually take all of the ones that are mentioned. Number 4 is quitting substance abuse. So for me specifically, I quit vaping and alcohol. I had a nicotine addiction and I was dependent on alcohol for, yeah, my dopamine fix, for emotional regulation. But it only made me more emotionally regulated, and it made me just fall into a trap of terrible decisions as well.
If you're drinking, you drop your frontal lobes, the decisions aren't as good, the brakes aren't as good, and you don't make it down to the bottom because you let it down. You need your frontal lobes, and anything that damages them, hurts them, takes them offline, even for a little bit, can ruin your life.
Madness really, isn't it? I actually did a whole video on my addiction journey, so I won't go into that, but I'll leave the link below. And Reframe app actually helped me through the power of neuroscience to understand what was going on and how my brain fog was healing. Oh, but boy, does it feel good to be like nearly 9 months sober. 5, hold thoughts outside of your brain. We can't actually really hold thoughts inside our brains very easily, and honestly, creating a new habit of writing things down physically, being visual, helped hugely, because seeing things reminded me of things that went to die in my brain. And actually, I think there's a video that I can insert here.
Your child cannot stop and hold things in mind. You need to use external, physical forms of information, which means sticky notes, signs, symbols, charts, cues, reminders. The issue here is not the what, it's the why. You must find a substitute for working memory, and that means something external.
Don't get me wrong, I found it really hard at first, and it took a lot of persistence, and there's going to be one book that I recommend throughout this video because it changed my life. actually when it comes to all of this, and it's Atomic Habits. It helped me create habits and streamline things that I made impossible for myself, and yeah, it's brilliant. I'll leave the link below, but Atomic Habits. And I created the habit of writing things down, journaling, post-it notes. I stopped trying to be perfect with the journal and the way that it was set out and the right type of calendar, and just started writing on any piece of paper, because the aim was just to help my brain, not to make something like look like a beautiful poem that is going to live on like Shakespeare's. I've just looked at my notes. 6 actually was a standalone Atomic Habits step, because that's how passionate I am about that book. Please read it. 7 is solitude, like being on your own, having your peace. Your brain is gonna be racing, and mine truly started to heal when I had days away from the girls. You know, at first I felt guilty, but then I didn't, because actually on those days I'm healing, and nights you need to have sleep. You really do need to have sleep, but I was so much better with them for having my own alone time. And noise cancelling headphones are like my new best friend, because it just really filters out the like stimulation from everything else that clouds my senses, because I'm a very sensory person. Well, it is a very sensory kind of I hate the word disorder. I'm not going to call it that. I feel like I'm the most introverted extrovert ever. I just love time alone, and I love socializing, but when that battery dies, it dies. 8 is affirmations and detaching yourself from ADHD identities. Stop identifying yourself with all of these symptoms permanently. Okay, you've identified enough to go on your journey, but start detaching yourself one by one from each narrative, and stop yourself from being a self-fulfilling prophecy of all the negative traits that you're associating with. Like, the more you tell yourself that you are something, or you do something, like I'm always late, for example, the more you're going to keep being late. Whereas if you start telling yourself, like, I allow myself time and I'm always punctual. And honestly, for me, when I started telling myself that, just through affirmations of different things I wanted to reprogram, your subconscious does things without you realising, and it starts to behave according to what you tell it. Number 9, embrace who you are. Embrace your creativity, your quirks. I have also embraced the fact that I don't really have the ability to create a consistent morning routine or any routines at all. Like, it changes day by day, and that's okay. It's actually quite exciting to have like such an unpredictable lifestyle in some aspects. And number 10, switch triggers for glimmers. Let me explain. Glimmers are like the opposite of triggers. They're what makes your tummy flutter and gives you that little dopamine rush. It could be anything from, I don't know, texting someone, or having like a new dating phase, or booking a holiday, and each day getting that little flutter, looking forward to it. The pursuit of something new, a new hobby. Hopefully something that's obviously healthy, because again, food, snacks, sugar can create this feeling as well, but we don't want to be replacing something that's detrimental with something else that's detrimental. Glimmers are what we can look out for. Once we know what our glimmers are, like, write them down. Don't mind me. It's never a dignifying moment, let's be honest. And I've actually been on such an inward spiritual journey as well over the past few months, that it's been a beautiful thing that's helped me hugely. I do feel like it's alleviated so many of the pressures. It has helped me to just embrace living in the moment, embracing the present, the now, and being really grateful that I've been through this in order to be able to help others. I'm here to help other people heal too.
Is mommy brain a real thing? Absolutely is, because when you have a baby, when you're in the process of having a baby, the hormones are actually remodeling your brain, and you have more brain fog. And so it is so important, before you're pregnant, when you're pregnant, after you have a baby, to do all the brain healthy things we talk about.
You know me, I always say, like, what is the point in knowing anything, having any knowledge or gifts, if you don't share it? So yeah, here I am, oversharing, but quite comfortably, and I'm so grateful for you all. I want to thank you so much for your patience with this series as well. It's been quite up and down so far for me, but ultimately it's so rewarding. And when I got that text earlier from my friend, I thought, It really isn't a coincidence. I am really here and supposed to share this journey. Oh, hello Foggy. I've got my girls here. Oh, also get a cat, get a pet. It really, oh, it calms my anxiety or everything. It's just, apparently as well, I read this in a book the other day, owning a pet, a dog specifically, prolongs your life by 10 years because of the love experience between you and the dog. But it's just fact. I believe it. I honestly believe it. Do you too? I love you too. Okay, I'm not going to get the cards out because I'm going to do part 2. Because depression is a whole subject on its own, and I really do want to clarify my journey with it, because it's definitely something I resisted and denied for a while. Please do put the notification bell on so you don't miss that, in case I sporadically upload that on a different day. I'm trying to stick to Mondays at the moment, but yeah, please do stick around, join the family, and we will delve into that subject in the next video. I really hope this helped. If you have any further questions, leave them in the comments below, send me any messages. I will pick up any questions in part 2. Thank you so much for watching. I just hope this helps, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.